हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय अनदर वीडियो ऑफ GenAI। आज की वीडियो हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं ट्रांसफॉर्मर के बारे में। पिछले वीडियो में हम लोग ने बात किया था कि ट्रांसफॉर्मर बनने के पहले क्या कहानी थी, या ट्रांसफॉर्मर के बनने के पहले व्हाट वेयर द डिफरेंट मॉडल्स, डिफरेंट सॉल्यूशन जो NLP के जो इश्यूज थे उसको सॉल्व करते थे। सिमेंटिक्स और डिफरेंट तरह के जो प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट थे उसे सॉल्व किया जाता था विद द हेल्प ऑफ इनकोडर एंड डिकोडर। ट्रांसफॉर्मर का बेस भी इनकोडर एंड डिकोडर पे ही है, लेकिन ट्रांसफॉर्मर का नीड आया था बिकॉज वी हैव टू डील विद वेरी लॉन्ग सेंटेंस. For example, if I'm writing a long sentence, then the last part of the sentence can have a very different meaning with the first part of the sentence. तो जब काफ़ी लंबी सेंटेंस होती है तो मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड्स और मीनिंग कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ द वर्ड्स सेंटेंस के लेंथ के हिसाब से चेंज करता है. I may talk about some topic in a positive way, but at the end I may talk some negative points, but overall the theme is positive. तो इस चीज़ को समझने के लिए we have a more advanced way of solving it with the help of the same encoder decoder, multiple encoder decoder, and in that gets into the formation of the transformer. So we'll understand how the transformer works in very easy and very basic way. अगर आप मेरे चैनल में नए हैं, इफ़ यू आर न्यू टू माय चैनल, प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब टू माय चैनल, इट हेल्प्स मी अ लॉट. और वीडियो पसंद आए तो वीडियो को लाइक एंड शेयर जरूर करिए. तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं. सो हाउ वी डील द वर्ड्स विद द ट्रांसफॉर्मर. तो ट्रांसफॉर्मर के वर्किंग में जाने के पहले विल अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट बिहाइंड इट. तो अगर मैं बोलूँ कि पैरेलल वर्क मीन्स इफ यू हैव वर्क विद द बिग डाटा टेक्नोलॉजीज, हडूप टेक्नोलॉजीज, you know that work is being divided into small chunks and parallelly it is being worked with or worked on. तो यही सेम कॉन्सेप्ट यूज होता है ट्रांसफॉर्मर में. एक लॉन्ग लेंथ ऑफ सेंटेंस है. देयर कैन बी मल्टीपल प्रोसेसेस विच इज़ वर्किंग ऑन सम स्मॉल चंक्स ऑफ द सेंटेंस. अगर मैं ग्रुप स्टडी फॉर एग्जांपल एक बुक है और उस बुक को समझने के लिए एक ग्रुप स्टडी में करवा रहा हूँ जिसमें 4 to 5 पीपल उस बुक के डिफरेंट चैप्टर्स को स्टडी कर रहे हैं. आफ्टर स्टडी all can get together and then combine their own knowledge or intuition about some of the topics and can share the knowledge. अगर ग्रुप में पर्सन 1 को के पास अगर कुछ डाउट्स है और कुछ क्वेरीज है, मे बी द पर्सन 2 के पास उस क्वेरी का सॉल्यूशन हो, उस क्वेरी का इंट्यूशन हो पर्सन 2 के बाद. तो पर्सन 1 का जो क्वेरी है दैट इज अ क्वेरी and the answer to that query is called key and that can be with the person 2, person 3. अगर नहीं भी है तो overall knowledge assimilation हो जाता है in a group study. तो पैरेलल टास्क, पैरेलल प्रोसेसिंग करने का के लॉजिक को इम्प्लीमेंट किया गया है ट्रांसफॉर्मर में. एंड ईच वर्ड इन अ ट्रांसफॉर्मर हैव 3 वैल्यूज. वी कॉल इट Q, V, K. So Q is the query, K is the key and V is the value. So every word in a transformer have 3 values: Q, K, V. Q is the query. Corresponding to each query we have a key and there is a value corresponding to each key or each query. So Q, K, V value हर एक word के पास जाती है. I'll just write it here. Let me move my microphone. So we have Q, K, V for each word. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल if I'm going to write a line like write a Python program for me. So write will have its own Q, K, V value. Python word will have its own Q, K, V value, and the value of Q, K, V is attained by the attention matrix, attained by going through each word, finding it what is the probability of that word, what is the importance of that word in that full sentence, and what is the context and what is the semantic of that particular word or particular meaning. So we try to get everything information in the form of Q, K, V. So this is the architecture of the transformer. So the basic way we'll understand it, like this is the encoder. The first part is the encoder and the rest other is the decoder. So in the first encoder, we give the input from here. So for example, you have a full long sentence or any kind of sentence. That sentence will be an input from this side. The encoder will enrich the value of that particular sentence by dividing the sentence into small words, small chunks, and that meaningful or getting more valuable information out of it, enriching it information can be done by the encoder. The output of that is fed into the decoder, which finally gives the output, like write a Python program for something, so, or print statement. So open bracket or print statement, whichever thing should come first, will be output of the decoder. Then the output of decoder again becomes the input of this decoder. So what happens? A new input is always fed from the encoder. The value is getting enriched. It gets into the decoder. Then again it gets into the decoder for the other processing, so that it can stitch all the words together. So we don't need to get very detailed into it, but the basic thing is, we have a long sentence. It gets divided into small chunks. Small chunks are worked with query, key, and value, and that query key and value of each word is getting together to give you the more enriched value of that sentence, or more probable output of that sentence. In a mathematical representation, we can understand that, or we can do the same thing with the help of Python. We'll see in the next session. But as of our understanding, this is the basic architecture. There is an encoder and multiple decoder working in an iterative way, or in a recursive way, to give you the output which is more relevant, more probable output. Now we'll see how actually the transformer works. So we understood, like, a long sentence will be broken into small chunks, and then the each word q, kv, query, key, and value information need to be extracted for each word. So for example, we have a sentence called Python program to print hello world. So this sentence will go into the encoder, like what we saw in the architecture. So this full sentence will go into the encoder. So we have one, two, three, four, five, six word. So against each word, one vector will be created. So Z1 to Z6, six vectors are created for each word. We know that vector is a representation, mathematical representation of the word, and we have six vector. For each vector, the three values are being extracted, or three values are being taken out, which is q, k, v. Z1, for example, Z1 means Python and Z2 means program. So Z1 k query can be the answer into the Z2 key. So if that is the case, that means Python is more intuitive towards the program. Means Python has a more strong connection with the word program. So if we go through this, the your architecture diagram will create it into six vector and try to find out each vector association. Like if Z1 is strong associated to Z5, or Z4 is strong associated to Z3, this kind of information is taken out in the algorithm, and after that the QKV value is being calculated by considering this fact, and then finally the output is being created. For example, program is more connected to 2 or Python. So by seeing this, we can understand that program is more connected to Python, but that needs to come from the encoder and the decoder part. So encoder divides into vector, and then later they will see that which part is more relevant to which part. And this intelligence in the transformer comes with the rich training set. If you have very good and rich trainings data for the encoder, then this information, like the program is more connected to Python, or program is more connected to print statement, this can be decided by the transformer only when it is being trained by the very good data, a very rich amount of data and large volume of data. So everything boils down to how we train the model, be it a transformer or machine learning model, or any kind of encoder, decoder, NLP, any model. If you have very good source of data for the training purpose, then your transformer can predict the answer, or the transformer can bring the association between query and key in a more better way. So this is how actually it works. It divides into six vector, and then the things goes on. I'm not going very detailed in the transformer, because we need to see how to apply transformer rather than going very deep into its architecture. And few of the portion of this architecture is very complex. For that, you need to have a previous ML, machine learning understanding also, and deep learning understanding, and also the NLP understanding, to get more detail of the transformer architecture. But I think this is sufficient to get started to most of the people in for the most of the project. सो दिस वॉज ऑल अबाउट दिस वीडियो। अगर आपके पास किसी भी तरह का डाउट है, इफ़ यू फेस एनी काइंड ऑफ डिफिकल्टीज इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग द ट्रांसफॉर्मर स्टोरी फ्रॉम माई प्रीवियस वीडियो एंड फ्रॉम दिस वीडियो, you can post your comment, or you can directly write a mail if you want to have a more Python based, more mathematical understanding of the transformer. You can directly mail me. I'll just put on solution to you. फिर मिलेंगे नई वीडियो के साथ। विल मीट अगेन इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो, मोस्ट प्रोबेबली विद द नेक्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ द ट्रांसफॉर्मर और विद समथिंग टू LLM मॉडल, हाउ टू स्टार्ट विद LLM मॉडल। तब तक के लिए अपना ख्याल रखिए। टेक केयर, गुड बाय एंड हैप्पी लर्निंग।